welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man that is currently swinging around in circles while shooting his Berettas into the floor, hoping that it'll form a hole that he can drop through so the werewolves that are chasing him don't eat him. It's David Cross.
Bang, 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 bang. That's the noise a Beretta makes.
Your sound is amazing right now, David.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're running from werewolves. You're in a very tight, like, neoprene suit, which should be very loud. You're falling through places, and you're coming in great.
Yeah. Well, I have a lapel mic. What you don't see is that I'm actually using a GoPro rig, so I'm gonna load this to my YouTube later. You'll be able to see it in it's that look where it's at my face.
Oh. Will this be better than your zombie? Like when you outran the zombies, you think you'll get bigger views on that one than this one?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with zombies. They're so slow. I had to fake like they were coming after me. I was just like, oh, I'm walking fast.
You're speed walking away from them.
Yeah. I mean, the downside of looking this cool, though, is I have to shower multiple times a day. Very sweaty leather.
That's when they catch you.
Yeah, when I'm showering, the werewolves break in. Yeah. Aha, you don't have your leather on. You're vulnerable.
It's like the rabbit and the hare. Like, you run away, but you're like, man, I'm sweaty. I got to shower. Then they just come get you. It's been the same for 10 years I've known you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You have an interesting life, David.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is, I've been practicing my running from werewolves for like 700 years, so I got it down.
Yeah, when I first met you in grad school, you were running at night, and you're like, follow me, and I'm like, oh, cool, I'm down for a jog.
Yeah,
and it turned out
the werewolves are behind us.
Yeah, it turned out you saved me from a horde of angry Jacksonville werewolves.
Jacksonville werewolves. That's the name of our future band.
Yeah, in What We Do in the Shadows, they're like, we're werewolves, not swearwolves. Well, Jacksonville werewolves are swearwolves.
Yeah, they're be werewolves.
Yeah. How long have we been talking about covering Underworld, and we're going to do the rest of the franchise? A year?
A year? Yeah, about a year. I pitched this. Maybe you pitched it. We kind of simultaneously pitched it. Yeah. That's a joke. Like, just to let the listeners know, like, Celine's like between 650 and 700 years old. I looked that up today, by the way, because nice. I thought it was very weird that she was like, I'm kind of attracted to this 22-year-old. We've been talking about this for at least 9 months, almost a year, probably.
We keep pushing it back. We'll cover other films, but we're finally at it. And I've been really looking forward to this because this is a franchise that I like a lot. I really enjoy this. I mean, Underworld, released in 2003, directed by Len Wiseman, starring Kate Beckinsale, Bill Nighy, Martin Sheen. I mean, just a wonderful cast, very moody. It's just a pulpy, good, fun film. And the entire franchise, none of the 5 films are fresh. They're all rotten, but they've all made money. And I think Kate Beckinsale is underappreciated. And I was watching this again, David, and there's 4 superhero landings that she has in this movie. And she just looked awesome. I mean, Len Wiseman, he definitely enjoys filming Kate. I mean, they got together on this movie. I digress. But their commentary is really cute, by the way. You should listen to it. And Speedman's totally oblivious in the commentary. I don't know. They're like, were you even there? And I learned she had pneumonia while shooting this. But it's just this is just a moody, cheap, $22 million budgeted film that hits above its weight and understands how pulpy it is. I love it, David.
I'm shocked that's 22 million. I thought it was more than that. 22? I thought it was at least 60 million.
Yeah, well, I mean, they had to go overseas, right? You go shoot in like Budapest and those kind of areas. I mean, you can definitely stretch your dollar. I mean, we were talking about Blade 2 when they went over to film. They paid the extras $18 a day. That's why they were able to do that massive club scene where they have that big fight because they paid, the equivalent of US dollars. So you go over there, you stretch it. But I mean, still, to take a $22 million movie and, like you said, make it look like a $60 million movie, there's something special about this. It's moody. Like, what I like about Wiseman in this film, you never see a gas station. You never see a supermarket. You never see anything.
The sun?
The sun or anything just mundane about daily life. There's no travel. It's always people arriving. And he wanted this to seem like this hyper it's the real world, but he didn't want any of the mundane aspects. He wanted it to be sort of stylized. And once again, like, I don't know. I'm jumping right into this, but I got to tell you something cool. So Len Wiseman, man, and you probably already know this, but he just wanted to make a living, breathing graphic novel. And he started off as a prop assistant on Stargate. And then he went to props on Independence Day, went to props in Men in Black, props on Godzilla. Then he shot Underworld, then he had Underworld Evolution, Live Free or Die Hard, which I love, and then Total Recall, which I don't remember much of it. But he met Patrick Tatopoulos on Stargate and Independence Day. Then he brought him in to do the creature design on this. And this is a guy who's done creature design on like Pitch Black, Riddick, Super Mario Brothers, Stargate, Godzilla, Stuart Little, I Am Legend. He's the production designer on Batman v Superman. So you have this young up-and-coming director who's done a lot of props. He brings Patrick Tatopoulos with him, who's really hungry. Then he gets Tony Pierce Roberts, the guy who shot Howard's End, A Room with a View, The Remains of the Day, and White Fang. He's nominated for 2 Oscars. And it's just, I don't know. I love it. And the editor did Full Metal Jacket and Mortal Kombat and Event Horizon. So it's this movie brought this young and hungry crew. They got some people that were already established to shoot it. And it looks great.
Mm-hmm. What I am most shocked about what you said is that this is rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. I can't believe that.
What?
Yeah.
Get into the mindset, right? And so get into the mindset of these critics. Like I was reading some of these reviews, and a lot of people just go, leather-clad Beckinsale. Kate Beckinsale is the hottest vampire. Sumptuously deceased and enticing, just like Beckinsale. S&M-inspired eroticism. They're like, Beckinsale, wonderful actress who looks game in her painted-on leather garb. Dracula never looked as good as Celine, saved only by its bounty of eye candy. And then, like, man, Kate Beckinsale looks great in tight leather. Like, these are the reviews for this movie. And after reading through them, I kind of felt like I needed a shower.
That's early 2000s.
Yeah, you're right. It's normal, isn't it? Yeah, right?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I think critics didn't like about this film is that they probably saw it as being somewhat derivative of The Matrix. I'm the type of person who's like, I love The Matrix. I also love this film. I can like Coke and I can like Pepsi.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't bother me. Yeah. Like I wanted more of The Matrix. Guess what? This is The Matrix from Trinity's point of view.
And we had you and I thought the same thing, did we not?
You said, yeah.
We read each other's minds. I mean, this is Trinity saving Neo. And she's been around for 650 years murdering werewolves who can kill vampires with ease. So she's just out there superhero landing, killing people. She's crushing on Scott Speedman, 2003 Scott Speedman, so that's good, right? But it's
that's good.
It's this like wiping people out. Yeah, I don't know.
One of the things that I also noticed in the reviews, I read a couple. I read like Vanity Fair and Hollywood Reporter and New York Times. They're all like, no one says anything for the first 15 minutes. And I literally, when I was reading the first review that said this, I closed my laptop and put my hand in my head. And I was like, there was a voiceover within the first 5 seconds. Like, I do not understand this critique.
Yeah. What were you watching, right?
Yeah, it's kind of how I felt, because that's basically everyone's like, this is a big dumb popcorn movie, except it's also like not fun, and I'm like, this is a big dumb fun popcorn movie. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Like, what were people missing here, David? Because a lot of people are saying that's very glum, and I know that Kate Beckinsale, she went out of her way and she said that I didn't want to do anything that was really winky at the camera. She didn't want to do something super hammy, but you watch this film and you just see the characters. Like there's Craven, who's this lackey who's running his own place, and he's basically just partying all the time. Then you have Bill Nighy owning and spitting and headlocking vampires. Martin Sheen as an action hero. This like, it takes itself so seriously. It's fun. There's a lot of fun to this movie.
Yeah. I mean, but I think people wanted laugh, but there's not laughs. This is just action fun. There's kind of a difference.
No, you're right. But the action is fun.
It is. I mean, people, this is more of a, how do I put this? It's more of an action horror movie. You know what I mean? It's not, like, there's not really a place for a lot of lighthearted laughter in it. It's not a family movie, so I don't understand why people wanted it to be really funny.
Yeah,
It doesn't make sense. The expectations are wrong.
Had people not watched, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Interview with the Vampire, there's not. Yeah, it's a very angry immortal murdering werewolves with a lot of politics involved. Like, that's a great point, David. I mean, where would the humor come from? Celine, multipass.
Celine's multipass into the blood crypt.
Yeah, I love the world building too, and I know that the script, which I really like, by Kevin Graveau, Len Wiseman, Danny McBride, and then Danny McBride wrote the screenplay. They did have to go through. They went through some arbitration before it came out, and they settled out of court for it because somebody said that they stole some ideas. But it's also like a vampire movie meets The Matrix, so it's just. Yeah, and just people.
Yeah. So there's 2 points I want to make there before we forget it. For one, the guy who came up with the idea is Kevin Graveau, and I hope I got his name right. And he plays Reyes in this film. But he apparently wrote a treatment or a script, and then someone else rewrote it with him. So I really thought that was really important. And then the second one, I would say that the lawsuit, I believe, was around Vampire the Masquerade, the RPG or LARPing game. And when I read that, I was like, the idea of vampires fighting werewolves is not new. I don't this is ridiculous. You want to go back to the 40s or 30s and see this? Because we can.
Oh, they did have that. Universal films.
Yeah.
Oh man. It's silly, right? It is. And people call this, you do notice people calling it derivative, and I don't know. I watched this again and I like what Len did. This is his first film. I really enjoyed watching Kate Beckinsale get 4 superhero landings and just wipe out people with ease. Because think about the 80s, David, and the 90s. We just watched superhero men like Commando or even Blade, right? In Blade, nobody even gives Wesley Snipes a chance unless he's outnumbered, and he even kills the Blood God quite easily. So I love that Kate Beckinsale got an opportunity to just murder people easily. Mm-hmm. She has the occasional fight, but for the most part, she's just wiping out these things. I love it. I'm so happy that she got that role and she fought for it. And I don't know, she didn't even want it until she saw that Len Wiseman had storyboarded and drew pictures for the entire thing because he's a props guy. And then she took the job because she...
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he really, I don't know. Bill Nighy was on set. Bill Nighy's quoted as saying, he goes, he said, this is going to be one of the best vampire movies ever made. He said that, too. And it made me...
He's not wrong.
And he loves it. In all of his interviews since then, he's like, I'm a middle-aged, lanky, slightly out-of-shape English actor, and they were trying to get me to wrestle with a vampire werewolf in knee-deep water. And he said that it was a real banger script. He loved everything he got to do. I don't know. Michael Sheen... They pulled we talked about the Wolfman 2010. Michael Sheen got to do the thing where he runs on a carpet that's being pulled by a car. And then they had stuntmen jumping on trampolines while the car drives underneath it. Then they did all the plates. So that's a scene where he jumps over the car. It was just a stuntman on trampoline going up in the air. But I don't know, man. The ingenuity in this, you have a Oscar nominated cinematographer, hungry cast, lots of, you can follow the plot too. I dig the plot. I know we keep going around in circles saying how much we love it, but maybe we're just being a little defensive of it because of the stigma that's a bad film.
So one of the things I wanted to touch on, Mark, is leather. So leather, the use of leather in the early millennia, early millennia. And I was reading online, and so this is someone else's idea. I can't remember where. I think it was, I wish I could remember. I'm so sorry. But basically they were talking about how, the leather itself represents a new symbol in filmmaking, and it's a revolutionary view. So you can trace it from Neo and Trinity through this movie, through Blade 2, and then the heroes wore black leather as a way to show that they were different from the rest of everyone else.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was an interesting take.
Yeah. So it's not, I guess this wasn't leather. She said it was the same fabric as